Hello and happy Tuesday. Welcome to Hot Tea with Holly. And I am Holly, and I am literally pouring my very brand new fresh cup of hot tea. You can't get hotter than that, my friends. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, if you are new here, my name is Holly. I help you use strength training and intentional nutrition to help you create the body that you need to keep up with the life that you love. And today I have a really awesome conversation. This is one of my favorite segments. This is what I call Hot Tea, Hot Seat, Community Coaching. And I've got three incredible women from my community lined up in the studio, in my green room. I have a green room now. How cool is that? And they are they are standing by waiting to join us to hop into our conversation today. So today's topics are so great. I hand selected these three women to join us for this conversation because their questions and their current struggles are so relatable, and they are very much something I hear on such a regular basis with women in my communities. I'm so glad you're here. If you are here with me live, please use the chat. Say hello. Are you having a hot cup of tea? If so, do share. Are you having coffee? Oh, I also have another announcement. Unusually, I'm actually also having an Ultima Replenisher hydrating drink today. I spent a few minutes in my sauna this morning. For those of you that don't know, I am a new infrared sauna convert. If you got enough hours, I will talk your ear off about it. Last year, I finally invested and bought myself an infrared sauna, and it was the best thing that I've ever bought myself in my entire life. Honestly, I can say it. It was such a gift to myself. It was something I wanted to do for my big 50th birthday last year. It was such an incredible investment. I use it for health. I use it for recovery. I use it during the dark winter months to help me kind of keep my head above water and feel happy and healthy. So I did an extra long sauna session this morning. If you are an infrared sauna user and you're using it, it's actually very important to replenish your electrolytes anytime you've had an extended sauna session. That could be a steam sauna, a dry sauna, an infrared sauna. And I spent almost about an hour in there, and I've trained my body to sweat so well now that I am just soaking wet when I come out. And I always follow it up with an Ultima Replenisher, which is my go-to electrolyte replacement beverage. This is not sponsored. They have no idea who I am. It just is a really wonderful electrolyte drink that I was turned on to by an RD that I used to work with years ago. And ever since, I've been such a huge fan of this product. So I am having the blue raspberry today to rehydrate. It's so good. And I am having a hot cup of tea as well. Today, we are having Harney and Sons hot cinnamon spice green version, thanks to my dear friend Heidi, who is here today. Heidi is actually having the herbal hot cinnamon spice. Great minds think alike. I love it that we are having the same exact tea, although I'm going for the black version. It's 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, and you know I need my little shot of caffeine. So welcome. Today's topics are really incredible. I'm going to be talking with three women from the community in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to bring Denise in to chat with us live here. And the topics are just brilliant. We're going to be going over that very familiar reality for a lot of us women, which really falls into the category of feeling guilty about taking time out for ourselves, feeling this this relationship or this kind of essence of guilt when we take time away to work out or when we just take time off as you need it. If you're a mom, I know this is extra for you, and I can certainly understand it. My best way to relate to that is all of my coaching clients, my dear friends, my family, people who have children. This is a conversation I have on a regular basis, even though I don't have children. But in my own life, I do find myself struggling at times when my business has certain needs. I'm here to serve my clients and the women in my community. And when my work is really demanding, I even find myself at times feeling guilty taking time out to work out, which doesn't make any sense because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be working out, right? I mean, that is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So, we're going to be covering the topic of these feelings of guilt. We're going to be talking about how to find the right amount of calories based on what your current situation is and your training goal and where you are going. Hold on one second. Let me make sure we are good here. Hey, Heidi, will you let me know if my feed is okay? Are you guys hearing me and seeing me okay? One of the women in the green room is having trouble with the feed, and I want to make sure that it's not me. Amy is here. I'm so glad that you are here. Amy is drinking purple chocolate by Just Tea. I love it. Heidi, wonderful. So Miri, if you can still hear me, I think that the feed issues are on your end. We are good over here. Heidi, thank you so much for that. And Elizabeth, thank you for that. Elizabeth is having Puka 3 ginger. I love Puka tea. Those are good people. I worked with them in the past. I love all of their teas. It's really wonderful. So welcome. If you're here with me live, please say hello. And if you're watching this in playback, we're going to jump in just a moment. But first, a sip of my tea when it's at the perfect temperature. We're also going to be talking about motivation today. At the time of this live broadcast, it's February. It's mid-February, and many parts of the world are really navigating the struggles of the deep, dark winter. Right now, I'm in my Pennsylvania studio, and it has been a long, dark, cold, snowy, hard winter. And these are the times when it is really challenging to stay on top of your motivation, to take the actions that you know you need to take, to feel good, to be good, beyond reaching your goals. Listen, I think it's super important for you to reach your goals. And I am here ultimately to help you create the body that you want, to help you transform your body into something better. I'm here to help you reach your goals. And beyond that, we are now in the times in the world where this conversation far, I think supersedes is the right word. It might not be the right word choice here. I hope it is. But taking care of your body really trumps reaching your goals. We are in the day and age where it is critical, it is paramount that you are taking action to take care of your physical body. And there's going to be times in your life where taking care of your physical body might mean that your body doesn't look exactly the way that you want it to. It might mean your body weight isn't exactly where you want it to be. And that's okay. Ultimately, you always need to be taking care of your physical body. And motivation is a big part of it. Remember, there's a big aspect of exercising and eating right and cultivating the right mindset to achieve your goals. There's an aspect of it that is so pure and part of just that is beyond just reaching your goals. And that is ultimately what this conversation is about, is helping you find the tools so that you can stay motivated and remember at times that success sometimes is just showing up. Sometimes success is saying no to the third glass of wine. Sometimes success is just drinking your glass of water. Success doesn't always have to be that you are in fighting shape and you look exactly the way that you want to look. That is not the end all be all and only aspect of success here. In this community, we are not only about looking fabulous or being fit or looking the part of the fit person. That is all awesome. And we go for that too. But remember, that is only one measure of your success. And there are so many ways to define your success, especially in certain seasons and cycle of your life, whether it's the winter season for you or whether it is the winter cycle of your life right now, a lot of your success really just comes down to you feeling successful about the actions that you're taking. So, cheers to that. If you're having a tea, please do tell me all about it. I want to hear what you're having. Share your favorites. I love to explore. I love to be introduced to new teas and new beverages. And if you're watching this in playback, I realize that you can't do that. But I'm glad that you're here. And hey, if you just found me or stumbled upon me even on YouTube, welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. Come over to my website, hollyperkins.com, add a /. And at the end of that, you could add the word offer, and you're going to be able to download a completely free 10-page premium guide that is my 6-week strength and conditioning cardio program. Totally free. If you feel that you are floundering and you need a dedicated program written by a bona fide expert, you can get that over on my website, hollyperkins.com /offer. And if you're wanting some guidance around your nutrition, which we're going to be talking about in just a moment, you can come over to my website, hollyperkins.com /macros, MACROS. And that's going to give you a totally free 14-page download that introduces you to what I teach my clients in terms of eating in the way they need to really create the body that they need to keep up with the life that you love. So let's jump in. I've got Denise that's going to be joining us here. I'm going to bring Denise in with us. Hi, you're here, Denise. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
I'm so glad you are here, and it's so good to meet you. I know that we've never connected face-to-face together before in the past, and it's so good to get to meet you. I'm so glad that you are here. And my intentions for this hot seat coaching is really just to get to the root of what you're struggling with. And let me help you. I love these segments. I really, truly love to offer free coaching to help you and to really, like I said, get down to the essence of what's underneath the struggle so that we can dismantle that or neutralize that to really help you take the action that you need. And I know from your application, you shared a little bit about feeling this sort of essence of guilt and taking the time you need for yourself. And I would love it if you would just share a little bit more about that and tell me a little bit more, like, what is it ultimately that you feel that you're struggling with right now?
Well, my husband is a competitive cyclist. He's a master's bike racer in his 60s. And so he will do his training, he will go to the gym. And you would think that with that environment, I would have no problem also doing my training and going to the gym. But then I feel like, well, if I do that, I'm not getting enough done in other aspects, that somehow going to the gym and or going riding is taking away from the upkeep of other things, even though I know that I feel better when I'm exercising. Also, I've had some pretty bad injuries, so the exercise just helps with my mobility, and I feel better. Um, and so that's the weird thing, is how to take apart the guilt of, or the feeling like, well, I should be doing more in other aspects of my life, even though that exercise portion has so many benefits for me physically and mentally, especially mentally in the winter time, like you say, when it's dark and dreary. Just getting that little boost of stretching and movement, I feel so much happier. So yeah, that
Yeah.
is probably the biggest challenge.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. You really, you explained it so beautifully. And I guarantee I'm going to get some messages from other women that are like, oh my gosh, I feel exactly the way that Denise does. I so hear you. the way that I see this, Denise, there's two things going on for you. On the one half, there is this relationship, and actually, it's really more a reference and an orientation to where you are in relationship to your husband. There's this first topic, which is he's an athlete. He's doing his thing. He is exceptional in this area of life called athleticism or exercise or health or fitness, whatever you want to call it. And so there's an aspect of you that's comparing yourself to what he's doing or feeling I should be doing that too. It's almost as if he's a great inspiration to you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like there's a part of you that thinks you should be doing it the way he's doing it. Would you agree with that?
Yes, that somehow if I'm doing it at my own level, which makes me happy, it's still not quite to the same level that he's got the commitment.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And I still enjoy what I do. So yes, I think, I never really considered that aspect.
So I want to share just like a little analogy or an example, if you will. So have you ever been in a situation where maybe socially out at a restaurant or a dinner or a bar, or maybe a family holiday gathering, and there's someone there with you who's a food pusher, or, oh, Denise, you can have extra dessert. Or, oh, Denise, why aren't you drinking with us? Right? Some essence of someone who's behaving a little differently than you are. And they want you to come along. Have you ever experienced something like that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So often in that situation, what's happening is that other human, whomever they are, they want the reassurance, they want the peer support of what they're doing. They want you to imbibe with them, if you will. They want you to play the game along with them. They want playmates, right? If you follow.
Right.
And this is the essence of peer pressure. We are social creatures, and we all have some of that in us where we are influenced by the people around us. And we are either wanting them to be like us or we're wanting to be like them. And I find that is particularly common in women. And the reason why I say this is I wonder if some of that is going on for you, where it's like you want to be like your husband in that way, or you want your husband to be kind of on your level in some way, or you're sort of comparing where you are against where he is. And they are actually two very different places from my perspective. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think put that way, I think it's more the comparison to where he is and to where, especially key to where I used to be. Because I'll be 53, I'm postmenopausal. There was a time, and I'm still working through this on the nutrition side of things, where it didn't matter what I ate, how quote unquote clean I ate, the bodily changes going through menopause. It was such a struggle. And so I compare to him now, and me in the past. And it's a tough reconciliation.
So as you share that, really what it feels to me is maybe even more so, it's less about your husband and more about, I know where I used to be and I know where I want to be, and seeing him in a good place. It's like, I know where I used to be, and look at him. You get this daily confrontation of feeling like you're not where you want to be. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, it's not being happy with where you are, especially because at times in the past you were in a great place and you're not there now, and you're next to someone who is. And it really brings forward this awareness that you're not where you want to be. So, I think just kind of acknowledging that first and foremost to say, okay, I'm aware I'm not happy with where I am right now, whatever those criteria are, whether it's how you feel, mood, aches and pains, body shape, fitness level, it doesn't even matter what the criteria are. It's, I'm not happy with where I am. And therefore, I can see the example and the ways of being that I want to be better. And therefore, part of it is acknowledging you're not where you want to be. You do want to be where you want to be. And so, therefore, we come full circle around to motivation. The other side of this conversation is what you said about, how do I, kind of figure out the balance between taking the time out I need to go exercise and getting those other things done, right? I want this, but I need to get those other things done. The forever long to-do list. And no matter how many women I coach, every single one of us feels like our to-do list is longer than someone else's, right? It's like there's so many things I need to do. I can't afford to take time out to exercise for myself or go to the gym or eat right or whatever it may be. But here's the thing, Denise, and this is really what I'm about, and this is what I want to underscore for you is if we flash forward 5 or 10 years from now, and you're in the same situation that you're in right now, how are you going to feel? Is that a happy future, or is that a future that you don't want?
No.
Something you don't want.
No.
Right. And that, I think, if you're able to really realize that and come into real communion with the awareness of, if I don't change things somehow, I'm going to be here in 5 years from now. And that's not good news.
Yeah.
And if you're aware of that every single day and remind yourself of that in a loving and supportive way, not in a self-abusive way, not in a threatening way, but in a, okay, this has to change. So how can I juggle my priorities and my to-do list so that I can take the action, whether it's working out, setting aside the time to work out, so that I'm moving towards a future that I feel better about. Because ultimately, I want you to be able to say, if I'll put it this way, if I am where I am now in 5 years, that's good news. Could it be better? Sure. But it doesn't bum me out. If I could be where I am in 5 or 10 years, that is good news. And I want you to feel that way. And that means whatever it is for you right now, something has to change. And to get a little metaphysical, which those of you guys that really know me know that I am a little I'm very spiritual. I'm a little spiritual. I'm a little metaphysical. I really do believe that when we prioritize the things we need in life to prioritize us, time in the to-do list rearranges itself. And if you're able to take even 20 minutes out or a half an hour out to show up for your workout, you're right. You're going to feel better and you're going to get those other things done faster, more efficiently, more creatively, more happily. They're going to be more fun because you're going to feel better physically as you're tackling that to-do list. So let me ask you, today is a Tuesday. Today's Tuesday for us here live. If you were to look at the rest of this week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, do you think that you could take one action in the right direction towards your goals? And if you could, what would that action be?
Yes, I can. I've got the opportunity to go for a nice yoga session. And also so that's one day I can do. And then I can also go for a walk, and I can also go for a ride that is at the level that I need, and where I will be successful in the ride.
Can I
So
ask you?
I've got three opportunities.
Okay, and with those three opportunities, let me just fact check a minute here. Let's say in the past few weeks, have you been exercising? Are you someone who has been exercising,
I
or
have
have you been?
been, I have been working more towards it, because we were able to take some time and come to Florida. So I've been in warm weather, which really does make it a lot easier, to just go outside. I don't have to bundle up. I don't have to go to the gym. So it really has helped in that direction. Um, and because of where we're staying, I don't, it's a small, rental place, and I don't have the housework responsibilities that I would do at home. So things are kind of falling into place in that regard. And the question you asked earlier, when I see my husband and I look at him and I think about, I do compare and contrast, and I feel like I start to use that as, it's almost a reason, it almost becomes a reason to not work out. And so I put the chores as a priority, because that's my reason, in air
Mhm,
quotes, to
mhm.
not work out, even though I know the mental and physical benefits that I have when I have regular exercise. And so it is a vicious
Yeah,
cycle.
yeah,
Um, it's
yeah.
hard
And
to
Denise,
break through that.
I really, really, really encourage you to get clear on, hold on, I want to make sure you're still there. You're still here. Okay. I really want to encourage you.
Mhm.
You've got to separate your exercise life from your husband's exercise life. What he's
Yeah.
doing, how he's doing it has nothing to do with you. And you've got a tunnel vision
Mhm.
on what you want for you only. You cannot relate yourself and your fitness to where he is, because you're two different people. Even though you're
Yeah.
in a marriage, you're still two different people. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to point out and offer to you, the question I asked you was, in the next 3 days, would there be the opportunity to take one action? And you immediately jumped to, yeah, there'll be three, which is an overachiever. Yes, I'll have three. And I'm like, hold on, I didn't ask you for three. I asked you for one. Okay. Yes. And is that your personality? You're giggling. That must clearly be your personality.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
Yes.
what you got, some of what's stopping you is that. It's like, well, if I can't do it
Mhm.
all, if I'm not going to be going to the gym every day, well, then I'm just not going to do it at all. And the secret to getting back to the regularity and the habit of loving
Mhm.
it again is to ease into it. Don't jump in to tomorrow is yoga, then a run, then a cycle, then a gym,
Mhm.
right? I really
Yeah.
encourage you tomorrow, just get the yoga class on your calendar and then give yourself a day or two to decide what the next workout's going to be. Don't feel if you go to yoga tomorrow, that means you have to go for the run on Friday, and then you have to go for the workout on Saturday, and then you have to do it again on Monday. Because the more you ease into it, you're going to fall in love with it again. And
Yeah.
it's going to get you going again. This is what I do anytime I get off
Mhm.
track. Here's exactly what I do. When I'm off track, I say, okay, this stops. Tomorrow, I am doing 30 minutes of X.
Mhm.
Then I'm only going to do something every other day until I'm back into the habit and the flow of it. Because what's going to happen, you're going to feel so amazing after the yoga class. You're going to want to do it again the next day, but you don't let yourself. So when the third day comes along, you'll show up because you really want it again. So I'm going to give you some homework and I want you to do this every other day
Okay.
or less. It could be even every 2 or 3 days. Maybe you aim for 3 days next week. You walk one day, you yoga one day, you whatever, right? Only 3. Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. That's all. I'm not doing any more than that for 1 week. If you do that by that 4th session, I promise you're going to want to be doing it and you're going to prioritize it. And the to-do list is going to get pushed aside because you're going to start to feel all the benefits again. Is that helpful?
It is. It is. And you're right. It is. And I think I know I'm not the only woman who thinks I've got to do all the things. And so, yeah, taking small bites is, yeah.
And the truth is, like, are you doing all the things? Are you getting your to-do list every day done? Probably not, right?
No.
So therefore, if you're not going to get it done anyway, prioritize your health and fitness and go work out, right?
Right.
So it's like
Yeah.
you're got to prioritize it. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. And so if the to-do list, where is mine? If the to-do list is not going to get done, I might as well get the things done that are most important. And for you, that's your exercising and or maybe your nutrition, and prioritize it. And then everything is going to get reorganized. Time can bend and you can all of a sudden find yourself a whole lot more productive because you feel better. How about that for homework? Will you do it?
I shall do it.
Okay. So send me an email. Let me know. We are all going to want you to check back with us and let us know that you did it. Okay. And so you decide, is it every other day? Is it 3 times next week? What's it going to be? And that's all you're allowed to do for the next 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
Deal?
Deal.
High five.
Thank you.
I can't wait to get an update from you. Have fun with it. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, and I am going to bring Miriam with us. Hello, my dear friend.
How are you?
I'm good. Were you able to hear that last chat with Denise?
Yes.
So amazing, right?
Yeah. She's
Yeah.
I think she pushed too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people we are like that.
So relevant for so many of us. So Denise, if you're still listening, I'm so glad that you shared all of that because like I said, I guarantee I'm going to get messages from women who are like, that's so me. In fact, Donna was like, that's so me, unfortunately. Right? It's like, I know so many people can relate. I'm so glad that you are here. For those of you guys that are watching, Miriam and I go way back. We got to know each other. Oh my gosh.
Since 1999. No, sorry.
2019.
2019. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. 2019, we got to work together. She coached with me. We've stayed in touch. We've become friends. And here we are.
I miss Heidi a lot.
Yes. And I'm so glad you're here. So let's jump in because I know that I've got somebody that's going to be coming in around 10 or 15 minutes. But let's jump in because I really want to talk about what you and I had started talking about. I think the things that we're addressing with your current goals and situation are going to be really relevant and helpful for a lot of women. And just to get us started, I think the first question that I gather from you is really around how many calories should I be eating each day based on where I am right now, which is different from where you've been in the past.
Yes.
And how much should I be eating relative to where I want to go? Do you want to tell me a little bit more and give me a little bit more clarity on that?
I have to say that I'm going through a tough time. It's been a year. So I couldn't follow your program that I usually do. It's been 2 months that I can follow it completely. So my problem, I'm a healthy eater. So I have a very routine that it's very almost perfect. I always did. But lately, uh, because I was exhausted and I didn't have time and my mind was really over exhausted, I couldn't follow my fitness pal as much as I wanted to. I dial my fitness pal, but I have extra treats, extra something every day. So I gain 2 or 3, no, 4 pounds, and I have a little extra fat. So I don't know where. I know usually you said 112. No, yeah, 12,000 calories, but I'm expending something like, because I'm sitting all the time or sleeping, 1,000, 4, 5, 600.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this first. And so, what I really want to share, and thank you for sharing to anyone else who's watching this or listening, is that given the events of the world over the past year, 2 years, a lot of women are really, a lot of people and humans in general are going through more difficult times than normal. And so thank you for sharing that, because I know you're not alone in that. And you have kept me up to date in terms of what's going on. So the first question I want to ask is, there are times in our life where we need to let go of the MyFitnessPal and allow some extra treats and desserts, or not desserts, but treats, and as you said, foods that you enjoy. Because to
Yes.
some degree, those things are emotionally supporting and nurturing, and they feel good.
And it's part of life also.
Yes. And part of life, and we love it, just full out stop, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree. Do you feel like you are in the place right now where you actually really do want to start cleaning things up, if you will? Do you feel you're out
A
of the
little bit,
woods? You're
yeah,
ready?
not
Okay.
completely. Yeah, just a
Okay.
little bit, because my diet is, I eat like 100 and something every day, and if I have my extras, it could be 100 and 400. So, no, yeah, 400. That's the most I eat. I usually
Okay.
don't eat more than that. I'm full.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to share with you. And some of this I know that we can also talk offline, as we've got a coaching call coming up. But what I want to share for other people who are listening too is that there was a time where Miri was, if you will, in fighting shape. She was in great shape. She was working out consistently. She was strength training. You were doing the glutes project. You were very dialed in with your nutrition. We have that to compare to in terms of where you are now to get back to it. So
Yes.
one of the first things that I encourage my clients
And I
to do,
still have the muscle. It's not that I have lost it, all the work.
right?
I still feel it.
Yeah. Often what I invite my clients to do is to say, if you're able to look back to that time where you were in fighting shape, you were working out, everything was where you wanted it to be. If you could sort of remember back to what were the variables at that time, because at that time, you were where you wanted to be. So the number of workouts, the type of workouts, the kind of the foods that you were eating, what were the habits at that time that got you great results? Because this time, all we have to do is move back in the direction of those habits because it worked for you in the past. So, really, all we have to do is start moving back to what that looked like. And I say this for anyone else who's listening and chiming in. If you've ever felt like last year or pre 2020, I was in awesome shape, and then COVID you know, the COVID-20 came in, or I took a left turn, or I got out of shape. If you can just remember, what were you doing at the time previous in your life where you liked the results that you had? Can you start moving back in the direction of those habits? Because if it worked for you in the past, it will probably work for you again. Go ahead, Marian.
I can a little, because you know that I'm traveling in a day. In
Yeah.
one day, I will be traveling for a month and a half. I will be in the States, and I will be going from one city to the another. So it's going to be complicated. But I'm going there for skiing and to visit some friends. So while I'm visiting some friends, I know that I can go to the gym maybe some days and some days not. And I could do walking and I can do cycling. So there are things I'm going to be active. I am always active. So in a way, I always do something. But I can't commit to a program because I don't know how much time I can invest in that. And I have other priorities right now.
And therefore, to circle back around, which you and I talked about in the green room, was this next short period, the opportunity is to address your nutrition.
Yes.
Because that's going to be the thing that helps you. Right. Exactly. So ultimately, let's, since we've talked around it, let's get real specific. Ultimately, Marian's question was, how many calories should I be eating right now? And one thing that's important to remember, you guys, is that your calories always need to reflect your goals, but also your current activity level. So, Mary, you're going to be going into 2 months, if you will, 6 weeks to 2 months, where you're actually physically moving about more. You're going to be more active. You're going to be sitting less. You're going skiing, correct? You're going to be moving about. So, your energy expenditure is already going to go up in this next stretch of 6 weeks.
Yeah, but also because my balance, that it's not good right now. My skiing is not going to be as I used to ski. I'm going to ski something more intermediate instead of flat.
Okay. So what I would recommend in terms of calories is if you keep your calories where you are right now, and you go into this phase where you're just naturally busier, you're going to burn off the extra body fat. If you can keep your calories where you are right now.
I'm going to be with friends, so I will have some treats.
I know. So that's what you're going to have to follow me in concept, follow me in theory here. If what you've been eating, if you were able to just keep eating the exact same way in these next 6 weeks, you'd burn off the extra body fat. The wild card is you're going to be with friends, you're going to be socializing, it's going to be a celebratory time. Yeah. And so you are going to be exposed to other foods that you might not normally be eating. And so what I would encourage you to do is do your best to aim for the same amount of calories that you've been eating for the past 4 to 6 weeks. And it's okay. Some of those calories might be wine. Some of those calories might be dessert. Some of those calories, you know, or whatever the whatever the extra.
When I eat sweet, I eat, for example, passion fruit with yogurt, or a date with some cheese. I'm so clean.
That's so good.
I always been so clean with my diet.
So
I have no problem. I eat fish. That's my
wonderful. Well, and that's partially why you look amazing. It's partially why you stay trim even during times when you're less active, because naturally you do choose healthier foods. So, and a way that we could maybe rephrase this is whatever the foods you consider as treats, or however, whatever those things are for you, whatever you identify as treats, have those, but you're going to want to still try to keep track of the total amount of food or calories
Yeah.
that you're eating. And if you can include some of the treats, some of the indulgences, some of the foods that you wouldn't normally eat, and still hit the same number of calories, you're still going to burn the body fat off. So I really, in my conversation, for those of you guys that are watching this, either live or in playback, really and truly, calories determine if you're going to burn off body fat or if you're going to gain body fat or muscle. It really does come down to calories. That being said, I don't want anyone eating Doritos and Snickers every single day, but it really does come down to calories for the most part. So if you're able to, Miri, in this next stretch, I really invite you to, because I imagine you're not going to be tracking your food on a diet app. You're not going to be using MyFitnessPal. So it's going to be more intuitive in terms of keeping an eye on approximately the amount of food that you eat as compared to what you used to eat.
Yeah, because I already know how much to eat every day.
Right. Exactly.
Don't need to dial the fitness pal.
If you're able to keep that the same, you're going to come back 3 to 4 pounds lower with less body fat. If you keep those calories right about where you are as you go into this next stretch, and if you don't, and then you get back to your normal life, then we can actually look at getting more accurate to what the calories are telling us. And then we dial you back a little bit.
Yeah, because these pounds that I gained is I kept it for a year. So
yeah,
it's not so difficult for me to maintain weight.
Right. Which is a good thing. You know, it's the fact that in light of everything in all of your life, as well as the past couple of years, the fact that you are still only a little, let's say, heavier than you were, given the challenges of this past stretch, is actually a really, really great thing. There are a lot of people who would have found themselves in a much different situation right now. I think they're saying that the average weight gain of people through this last stretch of COVID is like 18 pounds or something. And the fact that you really have done such a good job to maintain is further proof.
Good habits. Yeah.
Further proof that you're going to be able to take it off. So I want to encourage you to let your increased activity level in the next 6 weeks burn off the body fat without having to change your diet a whole lot. And of course, keep an eye on the treats or the indulgences or the foods that you might not eat as much of when you're at home. Keep an eye on those. But I also think, you can tell by the way your clothes are fitting. You can tell by the way that your bra is fitting if you're releasing body fat or if you're getting a little bloated or a little congested. I think you're going to be able to feel in a first-person experience of your body how the travel food versus travel activity is balancing out. Does that make sense?
A lot.
Is that helpful?
It is helpful. Yeah. Because I thought that I had to dial a little bit more my diet and reduce the calories. But if I don't have to, and with the increase of activity, I will already burn the calories. The fat. It's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to try to enjoy life and take it easy if I need it, and wait to April to start the new program with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I also think, and we've got some time. Our third person was supposed to join us and she's not here yet. So I'm going to take a couple of extra minutes with you, Miri. And then I'm going to, just before we wrap up, I'm going to share a little bit about what the third conversation was going to be. But Miri, I feel like this next stretch for you is so important for your soul. The fact that you're getting to travel again, the fact that you're getting to ski, even if it's not the double black diamond. Oh, Gina just got here. Wonderful. I'm going to wrap up with you in a moment because Gina is in the green room now. I want you to really enjoy this next 6 weeks because it's really important for your happiness in your soul. And even if that means you come back with, 1 or 2 extra pounds on you, we'll take it off then, because getting to see your friends, getting to travel, getting to move about, getting to ski is just so important for your soul right now. And let's let the body fat come off on its own, and then we'll address it when you get back. How does that sound?
Fantastic.
Wonderful. I'm going to set you free. I'm so glad you were here. I love you. Enjoy the time. I know we'll be in touch, and I'm so glad that you were one of these little hot seat opportunities.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye. Gina, you just made it.
Well, I thought the email said to join in at 1:45.
Okay, perfect. Good. Well, yes, and that's all good. I was hoping to see you a little sooner. I was expecting you, but it's all good. You're here. I'm happy.
Sorry, I didn't understand that in the email. It was not that way.
All good. I'm so glad I get to meet you face to face. I know that you've been in my community for a while. I know that we've been in communication, and it's so fun to actually get to talk to you live. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
I'm so glad. So let's jump right in. Thank you for what you shared in your application for today's coaching session. And I know that you were sharing one of your biggest struggles right now, that the obstacle at this point is this sort of like mystery around motivation and feeling motivation to take the actions and do the things that you feel that you need to do to go in the direction that you want to be going in. Right. And that, first of all, I don't know if you were able to hear any of the earlier session here today, but we were talking about how—
I thought you started it too. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's all good. So, here we are at the time of this live taping. It's February, mid-February. And for a lot of people in the world, it's cold, it's dark. I don't know where you are, but it's February. We're in that time of the year that's kind of no man's land. January resolutions have gone by. The next holiday is a far ways away. Summer is still a far ways away. And I tend to find that February is my busiest month for coaching clients, because this is the month where so many people struggle with motivation. So tell me a little bit more about what is the exact motivation issue for you? How is it showing up for you right now?
So I travel for work, but it's only once a month. And sometimes I do travel extensively. So even when you have your Saturday classes, I'm probably on an airplane. So I work in Chicago. I live in Florida. Okay. So when I'm in Chicago, of course, for the week, I try really hard to, I've taken your advice by ordering off the menu. Hey, I just want chicken and grilled vegetables. And I try to stay away from the treats and the Starbucks and all of that. But it just seems like, in my watch, I get plenty of steps when I'm in Chicago, because walking through the airport or walking from the hotel to the office, and of course, all the walking in the office. But it's when I get home. I've recently had a separation from my boyfriend this year. So that's kind of coming back together. He's missed me. So he wants to regain our relationship. So that's kind of given me a little more pep in my step. But beyond that, I shouldn't have allowed that to get in any way where I get up, my alarm goes off at 6:30 in the morning, and I'm laying there and thinking, I should get up and go for a walk. I should get up and start my breakfast. 3 hours later, embarrassingly, but 3 hours later, because I'm an hour ahead of my work, so I don't have to get up and be anywhere working from home. So it's embarrassing to say, but 3 hours later, I'm still in my bed. And and I know, throughout the day, I'm like, I should stop and do squats, or I should stop and, look at, because I save all of your videos from the Saturdays. And I'm like, I'm going to do those. And then I don't. So
yeah. I can so relate, and really and truly, thank you for sharing that and sharing. Honestly, I promise you, there are a lot of women that are either watching and listening now or in playback that are going to go, oh my gosh, that Gina, me too, Gina. I hear you. Yeah. I hear you. I personally hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I put on weight, I'm 58, not ashamed, but I've put on weight. I don't know if it's hormones, or I'm trying not to blame it on hormones, my lack of motivation. So anyway.
So here's the thing. I hear a lot of shoulds. I hear a lot of, I know I shouldn't blame it on. I know I hear a lot of this. And what the first thing I really want to invite you to do is just own all these things, right? Like hormones might be part of it, right? So if you're working from home and you don't have to get up at 6:30 in the morning, it's hard to get up at 6:30 in the morning and work out. Everything you're sharing are very real reasons. And I want you to own those.
Right.
It's hard to get up in the morning at 6:30. I know I should work out. I really don't want to. And just own where you are. Absolutely, hormones can be at play 100% for any woman over 37. Hormones are at play and absolutely are impacting us. They are to one degree or another. Is it the whole reason? No, but it could absolutely be complicating and making your situation harder, for sure. Having a breakup and a heartbreak and a disappointment absolutely influences this, for sure. Especially hearing that it's good news that you're reuniting tells me it was bad news that you weren't together. So these things are also very normal. And the first thing I want to do is just really to invite you to be like, be okay with it. And be okay with, all right, this is where I am. Let me ask you, when it's 6:45 or 7 o'clock in the morning and you're still in bed and you feel like I really should get up and go for a walk or whatever, for real, right now, why do you think it is that you don't?
I really don't know. I mean, I've recently I went to Colorado and I was skiing and I was horrible at skiing. And so I just took my skis off. I was in Vail and I walked down the mountain. And that's kind of like I can do anything I want to do. And it was a couple of weeks ago. So getting your email, getting this opportunity was almost like when I was in Chicago last week, I looked at myself in the mirror sitting down in the elevator and I'm like, I walked down a mountain. I walked down a freaking mountain. I can do anything I want to do.
Yeah.
I can't let 50-degree weather, it's too cold in Florida. I can't let that anymore be a stopping point why I don't get up at 6:45 and go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have thank you, because this has kind of encouraged me too. I went on 2 walks yesterday, closed most of my rings, but
good for you.
But
let me offer something to you that I'm suspecting, and I want to share this perspective with you to think about. You took your skis off and you walked down the mountain because you had no other choice.
Right.
You kind of had to.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to get out of bed.
No, I don't have to get out of bed. And
you
it's
didn't
so
have
warm.
to. Yeah. And it's cozy and it's nice. And you're not at the top of a mountain, unable to get down and have to walk down it. No. And that right there is a big part of it. You don't have to get out of bed. So there's 2 ways you can go from here. I'll be completely honest with you. One way that I wish we all could go, I wish we all could get really good at self-discipline so that we could discipline ourselves out of bed for that walk. Right. But I'm also going to be honest with you. I've been coaching women for 30 years. That's a hard nut to crack. And I haven't cracked it myself, especially when it's February and you're in a warm, cozy bed and you don't want to get up at 6:30 in the morning. It is a hard nut to crack your own self-discipline. And that's one path to work on our self-discipline. I haven't done it. There are things I still struggle with. The other, which is generally what I do, if you want to consider, is to figure out ways to put yourself in a situation where you have no other choice, just like at the top of the mountain, right? Whether it's you make a date with a friend to walk at 7 o'clock and they're expecting you, or maybe you hire a personal trainer once a month to kickstart you. Maybe you make a date with a friend that you're both going to get up and she's at her house and you're at your house, but you're both exercising together at 7 a.m. Something that makes you accountable, because a lot of us, keep in mind, we were all children at one point who
Right.
went to school because we had to. No one wanted to go to school. You didn't wake up at 6:30 in the morning and go, I'm going to get myself up and go to school. You went because you had to. And that still is a fact of life for a lot of us. A lot of us only do stuff we have to do. And that's normal. I wish it wasn't that way. It'd be awesome if we could all just self-motivate. And I want us all to do that. And we could talk about that. But what might be more realistic for you right now is to be like, okay, I can do anything. I can do anything, just like that day on the mountain. So what situation can I put myself in to make myself walk down the mountain at 6:30 in the morning? And that might be the thing to kickstart some momentum. You won't have to do that all the time. We've just got to kickstart some momentum, because then once you get it going, it's really easy to keep it going.
Yeah.
And it might be something like, okay, next week or this weekend, just once, I need to get up at 7:30 and go for a walk. Maybe it's not 6:30. Maybe it's not 7:30. Maybe it's 8 o'clock. Why don't you let yourself sleep in guilt-free until 8 o'clock? But then you're going to go walk for 20 minutes. So maybe finding an easier negotiation is going to help you do it. This is one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of doing something for 10 minutes. It's kind of hard to negotiate yourself out of pushing your chair back, standing up and sitting down and doing 10 squats. It's kind of hard to negotiate yourself out of that if you say you're going to do it. So that's the first thing I want to offer you. And I'm going to offer you one other thing in a moment, but let me first ask, is that helpful? Is that landing for you? Does that kind of inspire you in some way?
It does. It does. You know, when what I heard is just to give myself a little grace, and, you know, probably beating myself up, you know, I should. Just go ahead and give myself at least half an hour. You know, my ideal is to get up, go for my walk, even if I want to do 30, 45 minutes. I know that's a little more stretch, but just walking around my little lake I have here takes me, 30 minutes. So just doing that, and it's so beautiful. And then getting a shower, getting ready for work so that I am presentable when I have to do video calls at work or whatever.
Yeah.
So I hear what you say, just about, and just 10 minutes. 10 minutes is better than not doing it at all.
Yeah. And I really agree, giving yourself some grace, because what I do notice with my clients and myself, the more I nurture myself there, the more I want to go for the walk. Right.
Yeah.
And if you do just say, okay, I haven't been getting up at 6:30. Let's not try this anymore. Why don't we try to get up at 8 and give yourself that grace? Because if you aren't getting up at 6:30, there's a reason for it. And you might need, for whatever reason, to give yourself that comforting and that nurturance of staying in bed and not getting up at 6:30. If you don't have to. Listen, I know there might be someone watching who's like, I wish I had that choice. You do have the choice. If you didn't have the choice, you wouldn't. If you had to be on camera at work at 7 a.m., you would be. I know you would be.
Right. So, I know, like that lady you spoke with last week, and she got up at 4:30 in the morning. She was working out. And I'm like, oh my God, she's my hero.
Right. But she might have to.
Yes.
And
make it happen.
Yeah. And you might get yourself to the point where if you give yourself some grace and let yourself stay in bed till 7:30 and then lovingly go on a wonderfully beautiful 20-minute walk outside in the sunshine, that might end up starting to feel good so that you actually want to do it. And then you're waking up at 7 o'clock because you want to go for that beautiful 20-minute walk. I'll also tell you something that I do. I incentivize and trick myself into things. So if that were me, one of my tricks, and you might need to find what works for you. And I'm not saying this is necessarily a healthy trick, but it works. I figure out a way to incentivize myself to the thing. If I were you, this is what I would do. This is what I would do talking to myself. Okay, if I get up at 7:30 and go for a walk, I'm going to make myself a beautiful bulletproof coffee and I'm going to take it with me on my walk. The bulletproof coffee will get me out of bed.
Yeah.
So I'm rewarding myself with something I
Right.
really want. And that does the trick for me. If I have to wake up at 5 a.m, okay, I'm going to have a bulletproof coffee. Or I'm going to have something I'm looking forward to, whatever it may be for you, right?
Right.
Reward yourself in some way so that you actually want to go on the walk. Maybe you take a cup of coffee with you. Maybe you call someone you love talking to. Maybe you listen to music that you love. Maybe you listen to a podcast. Maybe you figure out a way that's the thing incentivizing you and you just happen to be walking while you're doing it, right? Because that sounds lovely to get out in the sunshine for 20 minutes and listen to a podcast or talk to a friend or listen to your favorite music or drink a cup of tea or a latte or whatever it is you want to do. Is there something that you could incentivize yourself with to motivate you to do it?
And when I'm out there, I'm sure it's like everybody. And once you're out there, you're like, oh my God, why am I fighting with myself over this? This is beautiful. Yeah. I'm having a great time. I listen to books on tape. So, or books on, Audible. We don't have tape anymore. Sorry. But,
Same.
that's what I do when I walk and, become encouraged or whatever. And it's, Rachel Hollis, or it's, somebody who's, I love her. I've listened to her book, Girl Wash Your Face, twice now in the last month. So.
And that's actually what I was just thinking is there something you can listen to that like it juices you up? And that's a perfect example. Yeah. That gets you going. And even if you listen, I've read You Are a Badass probably 7 times.
Oh,
because
gosh.
It's that for me. It's silly, but it pumps me up before I go to bed and in the morning. And I just use it as my daily dose of pumping me up. Right. Rachel Hollis is the same. And I've
also listened to your playbacks on Facebook, and
I love it.
Your, Tea with Holly. It's, I'm like, I missed it, but here it is,
I'm so glad.
That does help. I mean, you've been an inspiration. I followed you for years. Yeah. So getting to speak to you like this is really like motivation within itself. I wouldn't want to disappoint you ever.
Oh, so, well then let's do this then.
I've always wanted to come meet you and like work out with you for a week and pay you for like this major blast off week. But
I'm hoping to be able to start offering that again at some point. I'm back and forth to LA. I'm actually going to be out in LA for 5 weeks here in March, and I'm going to be meeting with some of my clients. So I'm hoping at some point, like, what I would love is to like travel around the country and do like a week here, come work out with me, a week there, come work out with me. I'm going to do that one day, you guys.
That would be awesome.
But Gina, so let's do this. Let's make an agreement. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd. Knowing what your schedule is for the next week, knowing what's up this weekend, knowing all the things, let's set a agreement of something you're going to do, an action you're going to take. Maybe it's, I'm going to go for a 30-minute walk before Sunday or Monday. Maybe it's tomorrow. I don't care what it is, but let's pick one thing that you're going to say you're going to do, and then you're going to do it. And you probably didn't get to listen to the last session, but two women before you, the first woman from today's session, I asked her that question and she's like, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, no, pick one thing. So I want you to pick one thing. If it's going for a walk, whatever it is, I want you to pick one. What day will you do it? What's it going to look like? And if you don't pick the day, maybe it's in the next 7 days, I'm going to go for a walk once. I don't care what it is. What do you think it should be?
I don't want to do walking because that's, I'm finding I'm finding joy there. So the thing, I want to work out with your last Saturday's workout session.
Okay.
At least one time this week, let's say by Thursday.
So that means today or tomorrow or Thursday. Is that realistic for you?
Yes.
Okay. Either today tomorrow or Thursday, you'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
What time of day do you think you'll realistically do it?
I'm better for activities like that mid morning.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So what time is mid-morning? Is it after you've checked into work? Is it before you check into work?
Yeah, after I've checked in, probably 10:30. Oh no, it can't be Thursdays because I have to go to Tampa. So let's do it. I'll do it by tomorrow. I'm just going to push myself. By tomorrow, I'm going to do it, and it'll be mid-morning after I've checked in, and say by 10:30.
Okay. So if tomorrow rolls around and it's 10:20 and you told yourself you're going to work out at 10:30, what is something that could happen to keep you from showing up for that workout?
I can't think of a thing because I can tell my bosses I have an appointment, I have a meeting. I can tell my bosses that I'm going to be unavailable for this hour.
Okay.
They're very, one's traveling and the other one, I'm executive assistant to a CEO and CFO. So
Okay.
I can always just tell them I'm not available this time.
Okay.
So it's all in my hands.
Okay. So if something should happen and it's 10:20 tomorrow morning and you're starting to talk yourself out of it, what is something you could implement to keep yourself accountable for this one workout tomorrow?
I will set a reminder. I can set a couple of reminders on my phone. Hey Siri, remind me at 10:20 to work out, which
Perfect.
she's doing right now.
Perfect.
So,
your reminder is set for tomorrow, 10:20 a.m.
Hey, Gina, hold on one second because you froze. I'm going to put you in the green room and bring you right back. Hold on one second, okay? Hold on just one second. I know you're there. Hang on. Now my computer is malfunctioning. There you are. Okay, perfect. For some reason, the screen froze. I could hear you perfectly, but we couldn't see you. Okay. And it's happening again. That's okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that is our agreement. I want you to do it. And then you're going to send me an email and tell me that you did it. Deal?
Okay. Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can't let me down.
No, I can't let you down.
I love it. That's your accountability. I'm going to be expecting an email from you by Thursday.
By Thursday. Well, you'll get one after I finish working out at 11:30.
Perfect. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So proud of you. Any other question I can answer for you?
No, I always have a problem with food, like especially breakfast, what to eat, what not to eat. But I'm looking forward to your thing at the end of the month, the 3-day. And that's the other thing. Like I know macros and all of that, and I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I've never had to diet ever in my life. I've always been 125 pounds and, but I had 3 kids and I had a horse and I had, I was just always active. Yeah. Now in my life, I'm, I don't even have to go to an office anymore.
Yeah.
So now I'm almost like 20 pounds heavier than what I'm happy being.
Yeah.
So yeah, even though my boyfriend, he's like, you're beautiful, don't worry about it. I worry about it.
Yeah, you want to do it for you. And that's the better reason to do it anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. So macros have always confused me, especially when I have to eat out. Like, how do I know? How do I measure? How do I figure?
Yep. It'll be really great for you. Awesome. And for those of you guys listening or watching, she's referring to my 3-day free Learn to Eat workshop that is coming up in March. Stay tuned. If you are on my email list, you will get the details about it. And Gina, it'll be really wonderful for you. I'm so glad that you're going to be there for that. I'll get the dates to you as soon as humanly possible. But I'm so glad that you joined me for this today. I'm so glad that we got to spend some time together, and I'm going to be looking for that email from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm appreciative.
Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
All right, guys. And that is it. I am going to wrap us up. That was so fun. I hope you enjoyed this. Hold on one second, guys. Hang on. I'm having a little computer error. There we go. My computer is totally malfunctioning on me today. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde, but in the past 24 hours, I've had so much unbelievable computer glitchiness, major email problems, major. So I hope that was helpful. So much fun. This is one of my favorite segments, and I'm going to be doing these hot seat community coaching about once a month, every 4 to 6 weeks. And if you want to join us for one of these and have one of these free spots, I'm going to do about 3 per session. Send me an email, holly@hollyperkins.com. I'll send you the link to where you can apply and share with me what you're currently struggling with. And it would be so fun. We could talk live and just do some free coaching like we did today. I'm so glad that you were here. Happy Tuesday. I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place, live every Tuesday at 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Holly Perkins Fitness on Facebook. And if you're watching this in replay, either on my blog or YouTube, you're going to want to sign up for my weekly little bits of love where I share tips and tools and resources on strength training and intentional nutrition to really help you build the body that you need to keep up with these days and times ahead of us so that you can really live a bigger and better life. I'll see you next time, guys. Have an awesome day.